Good morning. It is Monday, so I was going to start and then I wasn't going to start and then I was going to start and now I'm starting today. So day one. So day one, if you're joining with me or if you maybe were last week, you're like, no big deal. I got this. Primo. Mwah. Yeah, right. Well, you need to be doing all the things so that when you get to day two or day three, you're not in the splitting headache, fatigue, especially if you have like some sort of chronic issue. You don't want more fatigue. You don't want to stir the pot. So if you didn't plan well for this, you might want to make this week actually just a planning week. And that means that you're going to be reducing your caffeine, you're going to be increasing your water, you're going to be increasing all of that self-love, all of the things to take care of yourself. You're going to be doing supporting your liver. So let's do a wonderful detoxifying tea. You're going to be adding in some charcoal or some calcium bentonite clay so that as you're releasing toxins from your fat cells, because that's what happens. We don't add all these other fat cells when we gain weight. Generally, I mean, you will add some because if you run out of space, then you do need some. But what you're actually doing is you're expanding your fat cells to store as much as they can store. So they're going to store hormones, they're going to store toxins, they're going to store, energy, so glucose. So they're going to store all of this up. And then as you start to release things, they start going, oh, I can open up and release some of this. I can open up and release some of this. And that means you're getting the release of hormones and chemicals and toxins and all this stuff. So you need to make sure that you are really hydrating. Now, if you're drinking just water, you're not hydrating. You need to make sure that you are getting water with some Himalayan salt. I do prefer Icelandic salt because I find that there is still a lot of micro nanoplastics in most of the Himalayan salt these days. But if that's the best you can do, then that's better than table salt, right? So do your whatever salt you're going to do, or buy a great electrolyte enhancer and get yourself all of this healthy hydration going. So releasing things that are going to tax out your adrenals like the caffeine, increasing things that are going to help your body to shift everything like detox tea, and getting enough hydration through real electrolyte support. That way when you do get started, you're not getting the really major increased headaches, the hangover. Now if you do, that means your body needs some more support. So if you do an Epsom salt bath, that's going to be very supportive. Maybe you don't have a bathtub. Maybe you do a basin and you do Epsom salt and warm water and you stick your feet in it. Anything to kind of get some of that extra minerals into your body to help flush out your system. Once you get past that, you're going to be cranky, especially if you're not managing those macro and micronutrients. So I'm actually trying to finish my book. I thought it was finished, and then my book was no, I'm not finished. You have to put a little bit more into it. So I'm fine, I'm putting more into it. So I'm putting more into my book, but I should be releasing my third book this year. Well, it's actually my fifth book, but on Amazon it's my third book. And it's going to be called Micronutrient Happiness. And so it really is not just about the macronutrients. The macronutrients matter in, are you getting enough protein? Because if you're not, you're going to be really tired. Are you getting enough healthy fats? Those healthy plant-based fats, that's going to keep you from being too hungry. And if you're going from where you have been eat 2 hours later, snack 2 hours later, eat 2 hours later, snack, then you're going to find that you're going to be restless, you're going to be hangry, you're going to be tired, and you're going to want to kill everything. And we don't want you to kill anything, especially those cute tiny people that you created. Yeah, we don't want you to kill them. And they along with the spouses, they can easily get in the line of fire. So you want to make sure that your meals are really healthy. You're really combining a lot of those really rich phytonutrients. And if you are not supplementing, you need to start a supplementation program. That may mean for some of you, if you've got like some of the genetic mutations, you might need to talk to someone like me who has the education about the mutations and the education about nutrition to help you get on a full good supplementation program. And I do actually do free initial consults, so have at it. Let me know if you want that. I'll give you the link. But you really have to supplement, because 3 meals, or if you're doing intermittent fasting, it might be 2 meals and a snack. You're not getting a ton of calories. And if you've been eating emotional eating, a lot of like excess like junk from the holidays, you're gonna go from a lot of calories that were not really very healthy calories down to minimal calories. And your body says, hey, wait a minute, I need specific nutrients in order to process all of these functions. I have all of these functions I need to do, but if I'm not doing the functions, then I am not getting what I desire, what I need in order to create all of this. So you have to make sure that you're getting great supplementation. It's very simple to do. It's not a big deal. Now, if you have already started, if you started like on the 1st, so now I'm lost. What is today? The 6th. So it's the 6th. So you've gone through, right now you're into the tired stage. Really make sure if you are if you started on the 1st or the 2nd, you're going into the tired phase. And that means you really need to be gentle with yourself. So I'm in no big deal, right? It's day 1. I got my workout on. Some of you might not even be working out. Maybe you just need to do stretches. Maybe for the whole challenge, you're just stretching and getting an extra 5 minutes or 10 minutes of walking around your house. And that is like what you're going to do for fitness. And that's great. No judgment. This is a no judgment zone, and you don't go into the wrongness of you. So you're going to be starting this week, if you're on week 2 almost here, really tired. So make sure, what about those macronutrients? What helps with fatigue? The protein. Make sure that you are really thinking about high protein vegetables, artichokes, cauliflower, those leafy greens. If you need to, add in a protein shake. This will help you make sure it doesn't have a bunch of sugars or a bunch of fillers in it. Make sure that it's a very healthy, whole food based protein shake. Because as you keep going, make sure that you are continuing to do all the water, hydrate, you're helping your liver, you're supplementing. A lot of people go through this week the tight pants. And so the tight pants, as I explain in the unit, I believe, or you can just probably type in the search here in the group, tight pants, and you'll find it, is that this is really about the fact that your body is rebalancing. Your body is like, things are different. We're releasing stuff. I'm a little afraid. I'm just going to hold on to everything really tight for a minute, just a minute, and then it will finally release. So if you're feeling like this is a joke, I've been doing this for like 8 days or 9 days and I'm cranky and I am not getting the results, and now my pants are tighter, and I got on the scale, which you should not be getting on your scale. And I got on the scale, and you know what the scale said? If you start coming up with all of this negative self-talk, you're going to talk yourself out of transformation. You're going to talk yourself out of the mindset of the possibilities of what you can create for yourself. And this is not about weight loss. So get over the idea that this is about weight loss. If your body releases weight, hell yes, booyah, right? But if your body doesn't, there's a reason behind it. Our body is a functional machine. Our body does things for a reason. You've heard the thing that everything happens for a reason. Well, your body is a machine. It's a computer. It says, I've got to do this because of XYZ. So while you're going through the process, your body's going through a process. And you have to really listen. And that's part of what I wrote about in this new book that I'm working on, is that you have to start to listen to your body. If you listen to your body, it will start to tell you what happened in the past and what it needs for the future. If you're on week 2, when you start getting near the middle of the week, that can be the hardest time for some. For others, it's when you start getting the boredom at about week 3. But for some, it's this, like 10 days is when you start feeling like, ugh. That's why for some of you, 10 days may be all you do this month. And then you move on, and next month you try another 10 days. In March, you try another 10 days. And maybe in April, you do 30 days of trying to change up things, right? And we're not, again, this is about finding what works for you personally. This is not about doing exactly what I'm doing exactly what your neighbor's doing exactly what the other 3,500 people in this group are doing. It's about figuring out what works for you. Elimination will help you with that. Elimination is what helped me figure out that quinoa was like the devil to my gut. So you're going to have to be gentle with yourself. And be prepared for weird, wacky dreams. And be prepared for things to come up that you need to deal with. We are at our most aligned. Like, close your eyes, breathe in. You get most aligned at that time of day when you are like in that zone right between sleeping and waking up. And you're going to have some really amazing dreams. So start keeping a journal by your bed. Write them down. Bring them to the group. We can discuss them. So I had a dream. And in my dream, right before starting this, and I think it was partially because I'm starting this, is that I was in this house. And this house, it was mine, but, you know, there were people there that I knew. And I was trying to, there was clutter in this room. It was like, of course, the dining room, right? So I'm in the dining room, and there's all this clutter, and I'm trying to hide it. And so this friend of mine is like, I don't know what you're doing, crazy. Like, you can't hide that from me. Like, I see right through you. You're an open book. You can't hide it. Guess what? You can't hide your shit. None of us can. So make sure that you are coming into this open heart, open love, open joy, and figure out that you can't hide. So be in it. This year, I want you, 2020 is about, everyone keeps saying it's about clarity, it's about rebirth. Good. Find your clarity by being in it. Find your clarity by, for the first time, getting out of your comfort zone. Don't go back to the things that are the easiest for you. Like, if you always eat the same 8 meals all week long, find a ninth meal. If you do exactly the same workout, find a different workout. If you never do any meditation or breathing, do some meditation, do some breathing. Find something that's going to get you out of your comfort zone so that you can start figuring out what it is that keeps bringing you here. Because if you're in a group like this, it's because you're trying to create a new possibility. It's not because you want to necessarily lose weight. It's not necessarily because you, want to feel different. It might not even be because you have some sort of illness. You were just drawn to it. Something sparked in you. You were drawn to it. You came in here. And so you need to realize that you're here for a really important reason. And that's you. You're here for you. You're here to open yourself up. You're here to get into this group, be authentically who you are, share, open, create. you're going to manifest so much when you do that. When you change that mindset, when you open yourself up and quit hiding yourself, that you might be really shocked when you are like on the other side of this going, wow, is that all that I had to do? Hi guys. Oh, thanks Nancy. So really it is when you get to the other side, when you start manifesting all of this, you're like, why didn't I know this? That I just had to start being me. Like I just had to be me and just open up to all the possibilities and all the self-love of who I am. That is my like happiness hack for you for 2020, is to just find a way to be you. Find the way to open yourself up, because I'm telling you, people are here, they are hiding. People are in here hiding. A lot of us that have been here for a long time are hiding. Helping yourself to be a better you. And that's, you don't get that if you hide. You don't get that if you don't get uncomfortable. You don't get that if you don't dig into the shadows, into the places that are hidden inside of yourself, where you have buried trauma, where you have buried sadness, where you have buried all of this sorrow that bubbled up to the surface here and there and ended up being a cookie there, or maybe it was restricting over here where I'm sad, I'm not going to eat, because if I eat then I just become more sad, because you start labeling things, you start going into judgment on yourself, you start going into judgment of what you are possible of, and then you start going into the wrongness. One of the things that I wrote about in my book is that we're living, I realized I was living my whole life in fear. Like my whole life I was hiding because of fear. Fear of everything and being myself. Well, that brought up fear. But what fear does is it brings up shame. And then you become ashamed of yourself in some way. And I think that so many of us have those places, like my heart chakra just feels it. So many of us have those places where we are so ashamed of ourselves. And we have to rid ourselves of fear in order to rid ourselves of shame. Because if you don't do that, what sheer shame becomes is guilt. And when you're dragging guilt behind you, and it's this big, heavy boulder that you're dragging behind you, it is hard to do anything else because you are fighting gravity. And when you have this giant boulder behind you and you get to like a downhill slide for a minute, it will drag you to the bottom. And there you are. And then you just create more fears. So, a lot of you are in here to do a whole 30. Those of you that have been here for a long time know that at least a year ago, it might have been 2 years ago, I was like, I am no longer forcing actually like the whole 30. I will support anyone that wants to go through the whole 30 because I have all of the knowledge for it, but I'm not going to force, because I don't want to put anyone into a box. I don't want to put you into a box where you start creating judgments on yourself like, I ate a legume. It's all over. Darn it. I didn't realize I bought my drink and it has honey in it. The ending of everything I've done. We start getting in these judgments. And that's not saying that I want you to go easy on trying to figure yourself out. That is why in November I did all the journal prompts, because I really want people to start thinking about, why do I choose this? Why don't I choose something else? Because it really is all about choice. I was talking about, my mother is just about 80. She's turning 80 this year. And she has some issues with things that have gone on with her. But it's all because of choice. Like, she made the choice. She, like all the rest of us, have the possibility of choice. We have the possibility of choice. Another thing that came up in the dream was this friend of mine said, like I was looking at all of this stuff like in my driveway in my dream. I go down to the garage and my driveway is just torn up. And in the driveway, there were all these boulders like on the driveway. And so all of these boulders had been like from people that I know were like pulling all the boulders off, and there was this big trench in front of the driveway, in front of that where you enter the garage. So I grabbed this shovel and I'm like trying to fill this trench, and I'm trying to pull rocks from the edges to pull in to put back over top of my driveway. And my friend says, "What are you doing? Don't you realize that you can always ask for help? There's all these people out there that you can ask to help you, and they will help." And it was like, whoosh, like 52 years of being in the mindset that I am the helper and I cannot ask for help. Whoosh, gone. Like it like poured out all over this dream and out into my reality that guess what? I can ask for help. If I'm struggling, I can ask for help. And guess what? So can you. Doesn't matter what you think is on your plate. You can always ask. There's always someone here that will help you. And especially in this group, there is always going to be someone that will answer your call when you are struggling. So please feel open enough to ask us when you need it. And I will feel open enough to ask you. So here we go, January 6th. I'm going to try to check in every week and talk about things that are going on and things maybe that are shifting and bring up some of this mindset stuff. But in the meantime, feel free to, talk about what's going on for you. I think that, yeah, like you say, when you are accepting of who you are, that opens up so many possibilities. Oh, I think someone's going to bark in a second. He's right there. You see him? He's getting ready. He says, "I got something to say." Oh, they all see you. And they love you. Yes, and they're contributing to you. They say, "It's okay, Ollie. It's okay. We're there for you." Yeah. Yeah, I think he liked that. He's an attention hog, so that will make his whole day. All right, so I love you guys. Let me know how your journey is going so far. Let me know where you're at in it. Let me know what you're afraid of. Let me know what's coming up in your mindset after hearing all of this. And then January on, the longest Monday of the year. So your favorite Monday of the year. Okay, so I love you guys. Have a great day, and I will check in again. All right, bye.